Number 1. The evilest cop in history, Craig Allen Peyer. On the night of December 27, 1986, Kara Knott, a 20-year-old San Diego State University student, was driving on Interstate 15. Knott was heading to her parents' home from her boyfriend's home. However, little did she know that on the way, she would encounter a monster wearing the uniform of the police. As she continued on her way, Knott was signaled by a California Highway Patrol car to pull over off the freeway on an isolated and unfinished off-ramp. Knott complied with the signal and stopped her vehicle. She was approached by Officer Peyer, who, from the start of the traffic stop, was acting inappropriately. He first asked Knott for a date, which she denied, and threatened to report Peyer's inappropriate actions. Peyer then tried to grab her, but Knott attempted to fight him by scratching at his face. As a struggle ensued, Peyer repeatedly hit Knott with his flashlight and strangled her with a rope until Knott died. After killing her, Peyer threw Knott's dead body over the edge of an abandoned bridge. On December 28th, the following day of Knott's murder, her car was found in a dead-end road at the Mercy Road off-ramp from I-15 in San Diego County. Her dead body, however, was recovered at the bottom of a 65-foot ravine nearby. Soon after the horrifying findings, an investigation was initiated into the matter. The incident received wide attention throughout the country as many news outlets got engaged in reporting it. 2 days after finding the dead body of Knott, a reporter with NBC interviewed multiple officers on the I-15 interstate highway. Ironically, Peyer was one of those interviewed officers who was lecturing women on how to stay safe on the road from predators.
Anything could happen. Being a female, you could be raped, robbed if you're a male, all the way to where you could be killed. Once you get in that other person's car, you're at their mercy.
However, this interview proved to be the end for Peyer deceiving the authorities. Shortly after his interview was aired on TV, the authorities received dozens of telephone calls, mostly from women, who claimed that Peyer was the officer who had pulled them over on the same off-ramp and had made them feel uncomfortable. Many women also reported that during the traffic stop, Peyer had even stroked their shoulders and hair. As it turned out, multiple women had even filed complaints about Peyer's inappropriate behavior during the traffic stop, which were ignored due to Peyer's good reputation within the department. But his false reputation cost an innocent young woman her life. In addition to receiving numerous telephone calls, a witness also informed the authorities that at the time of the murder, he saw a patrol car accompanying a Volkswagen Beetle, which was believed to be the one that Knott was driving. Another fact that made the authorities consider Peyer a suspect was scratches on his face that were even recorded in his interview with NBC. After considering all these facts, the authorities finally started seeing Peyer as one of the suspects and initiated a secret investigation into his conduct. As the investigation continued, authorities discovered that a drop of blood found on Knott's body matched Peyer's blood type, which is AB negative. Further, Peyer's colleagues at the police department also testified that following the murder, they noticed a strange change in Peyer's behavior. They said that Peyer started taking a strong interest in the investigation into the murder of Knott. He was also seen making changes to the traffic tickets that he had written prior to killing Knott. Based on all these suspicions, Peyer was finally charged and presented in court, where he claimed that he wasn't guilty. But given a significant amount of evidence against Peyer, he was found guilty of murder, which was proved to be the first conviction of murder by an on-duty CHP officer. On August 4th, 1988, Peyer was finally sentenced to 25 years to life. Even after being found guilty, he stuck to his claim of innocence, but he did very little to prove his innocence. Peyer was approached in 2004 and asked if he could provide a DNA sample for a program in San Diego County. This program aimed to utilize DNA samples to potentially prove the innocence of individuals who had been wrongly incarcerated, as the testing method was not accessible during Peyer's trial and subsequent conviction. However, he refused to submit his DNA sample and even refused to give an explanation as to why he did so. It cleared many people's doubts who were wondering whether Peyer had been wrongly convicted. However, there was still a person who believed in Peyer's innocence, his third wife, Karen Peyer.
I love my husband, and I will always stand beside him.
However, his previous 2 wives painted Peyer to be a totally different person. Both described him as controlling, intimidating, and violent. Even Karen lost faith in him after Peyer continuously refused to submit his DNA sample and divorced him in 2007. Peyer had tried to get out of jail by requesting parole multiple times. However, he was denied each time. His next eligibility for a parole hearing is set to be in January 2027, when he will be almost 77 years old. Sadly, just like his daughter, Knott's father, Sam Knott, also had a tragic end. In 2000, while taking care of a memorial garden that Knott's family had prepared in her memory, Sam suffered a heart attack and died right at the place where his daughter had been murdered. There is no doubt that Kara Knott's murder is a heartbreaking and tragic story that shook us to the core. However, it is also a reminder that not everybody that seems like our friend and protector is actually good. Unfortunately, Knott's case is not an isolated incident where police officers not only forget their duty, but even lost their humanity as well. In the next case, we will see how a cop, Justin Volpe, brutally assaulted and sodomized a citizen. Number 2, police officer assaults an innocent black man. On the night of August 9, 1997, the New York Police Department received a call about a fight in a nightclub in East Flatbush, Brooklyn. Among the responding officers was Justin Volpe, who tried to break up the fight. However, as the police got involved, violence erupted and chaos overtook the whole place. But within a few minutes, the police made some arrests, which de-escalated the situation. Among these arrested people was a Haitian immigrant, Abner Louima, who, according to Officer Volpe, had attacked him. Throughout the way to the police stations, Volpe and his fellow officers beat Louima with fists, nightsticks, and handheld radios. Upon arriving at the police station, Volpe strip-searched Louima and put him in a holding cell. After waiting for a while, he then dragged Louima into the washroom and inflicted a severe beating upon him. Volpe then proceeded to sodomize him with a broom handle as another officer held Louima down. He then forced the same handle into Louima's mouth, which caused multiple teeth to be badly damaged. After receiving such a brutal beating, Louima lost consciousness. He was transported to the hospital by police officers the following day, who told the doctors that Louima had been involved in abnormal homosexual activity. The doctors, however, were having a hard time believing Volpe's story. They contacted the police department's Internal Affairs Bureau and informed them about the likelihood of Louima being tortured and beaten in police custody. Given his severe injuries, Louima underwent 3 major surgeries and remained hospitalized for 2 months. As he was receiving treatment, the news of Louima being beaten by police became public and spread like wildfire. Thousands of protesters took to the streets of New York City, where they asked to stop police brutality and justice for Abner Louima. An internal investigation had been started into the matter, which revealed Volpe and his fellow officers' heinous actions against Louima. Along with his colleagues, Volpe was arrested on the charges of violating Louima's civil rights, obstruction of justice, and making false statements to police. Initially, Volpe claimed innocence and pleaded not guilty to the charges. However, seeing abundant evidence against him, he admitted his monstrous acts. Volpe also admitted that Louima was not the person who had attacked him and that he lied about it. On December 13, 1999, Volpe was sentenced to 30 years in prison without the possibility of parole. In addition to that, he was also fined $525, as well as restitution in the amount of $277,495. His crime partner, Charles Schwartz, who assisted Volpe in assaulting Louima in the bathroom, was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Volpe is serving his sentence at the Federal Correctional Institute Sandstone in Minnesota. Following the sentencings of his victimizers, Louima received $8.75 million as a settlement in a subsequent civil suit against the city of New York. After receiving damages, Louima expressed his wish to put this ugly chapter of his life behind him and move on with his life. He visited Haiti, where he met then Haitian President Jean-Bertrand Aristide. Louima expressed his desire to work for the betterment of his community and other immigrants who were looking for legal help in the United States. He has also been quite vocal about police brutality since the incident. "Maybe God saved my life for a reason. I believe in doing the right thing," Louima said. While Knott and Louima's cases make us question our trust in the police department, they also serve as a reminder to the authorities that not every one of their employees is serving the public as they like to think, and question the qualified immunity that has been bestowed upon every police officer. If you want to expose more of these corrupt cops, please subscribe to the channel.